Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this Vector Optics Minotaur. So like I told you, this is, in my opinion, what's considered a purpose-built scope. This isn't something that you're going to want to put on every rifle, so I'll tell you that right now. Now, if you're looking for something that you're wanting the ultimate in magnification, that's when you're going to want to start looking at this. So if you're doing any kind of precision target work, let's say bench rest work or something like that, doing long-range shooting, this might be an optic that's appealing to you. This has been shock tested and rated to handle a 338 Lapua, so that's pretty impressive. Let's go ahead and take a look in the box, see what you're going to get here. Got a cleaning cloth here. Of course, the optic, let's go ahead and take that out. As you can see, it is quite large. So we'll just set that to the side real quick. Let's see what else is in the box here. You have a sunshade that's going to come with it. This is a 60mm objective. Also comes with a Allen wrench, probably for resetting your turrets. Got the Minotaur Riflescope user manual. Give you your basics for using the scope here. Tells you about the parallax adjustment, magnification, changing out your battery because this is a illuminated scope, some maintenance, and this comes with a 5-year limited warranty on it. Also, get a set of rings with it, the X-Accu rings, and these are really good high quality rings. Let me just go ahead and take one of these rings out of the package, that way you can take a look at it. Very heavy duty rings. Love Vector's rings that they send out with a lot of their scopes. So let's go ahead and set this to the side. I believe that's all that's going to be in this box right here, and it is. So let's go ahead and just get the box out of the way. And this is their Minotaur 12-60x60. This is their Gen 2. And this is the SCOL 40 version, and this is the reticle that it comes with. It does come with a different reticle offering. I'm not sure the model number. You're welcome to look it up. But they do have just a center dot version without the tick marks and everything. So they do have some options available. I do like this floating dot here. Pretty nice. So that's going to work out pretty good. Here's a little bit better picture of the scope. Okay, let's talk about this scope just a little bit. So, really nice, heavy-duty scope. This is not a lightweight scope. This is a heavy-duty scope. It is a 30mm monotube. It is made with the 6061 T6 luminol. This is really designed, purpose-built for long range and extra long range and precision competition shooting. So, this is not your everyday typical hunter or short range rifle scope. This is more purpose designed for people that's either shooting long range, extra long range, or let's say precision competition like bench rest and stuff like that. So that's where this particular scope comes in at. Like I say, it's not a scope that is for every situation. So as I mentioned, it is a purpose-built scope. It does come with these two pop-up covers, which is very nice. I like that. These are my preference. I do like it when Vector provides these. They also have a bikini style, works just fine as well. But I do have a preference myself for that style. This has a true 5x zoom factor. Again, this one is in 12-60. They do have a couple of different magnifications available. This is a higher magnification model here. 60x is what I consider extremely high power. This particular scope is a second focal plane scope. I do not believe they make this particular scope in a first focal plane. For extreme long range shooting, with one of my rifles, I'd love to see the scope in a first focal plane version. I'd love to try it out on there. But this would work out for extreme long range as well on my 300 PRC. However, I prefer first focal plane for my matches when I do that type of deal. So this is actually going to go on a bench rest gun is what I'm going to use it on. Now this has 11 levels of illumination, and it is a click button. It does have a click button instead of like a lot of the Vectors. You'll have a dial knob here. It's going to have a click button on and off and your intensity levels right there. You still can unscrew this and put your CR2032 battery in it. And let's just unscrew this and I'll show you where it goes. It'll go right there under this cap and you'll put it back on, and here is your switch right here on top. Really conveniently located, easy to use. Now what I do like about this and what's real important, if you notice here, this is 1/8 MOA clicks. That's not 1/4 MOA, it's 1/8 MOA. Something else I like is it's a 34mm tube, so it's going to give you extra adjustment in your windage and elevation because you do have a bigger tube, and I've explained that in some of my past videos. Explain the difference between 1-inch tube and 30mm tubes. 34 is the same. That extra 4mm is going to give you a little more travel adjustment in your windage and elevation, which is really nice. Now it does have a turret lock for the windage. It does not have a turret lock for the elevation. I would like to see that feature on this. I'd love to see that because if you're traveling and stuff like that, sometimes you can get things knocked out of adjustment. But if you'll re-zero these and set them to 0, it ought to get you about where you need to be anyway. Even if it gets knocked offline, just set it back to 0 and you should be good to go. So usually that's not a problem, but a lot of times during travel and transport, sometimes that can happen. So it is nice to have locking turrets, but you know, a lot of scopes don't have locking turrets. At least they do offer it on the windage, which is prone to getting bumped. Now it does have 0 stop on the elevation, so that is a nice feature of this. And like I say, it does have the turret lock on the windage. This has 80 clicks per revolution, and it has a 40 MOA range. So that is really nice to have a 40 MOA range. It's got a generous 3.8-inch long eye relief, so that's going to help you out, especially if you're shooting high caliber rifles and stuff. If you mount it on that, keep you from getting actually a kiss from the scope if you had a little bit too much recoil. So having that extra eye relief there is really nice. 3.8-inch is pretty standard in a lot of their scope lines, which is really nice. That's one feature I do like about it. It does have a generous eye relief on it. Now the reticle is a MOA reticle. It's etched glass, and it is a fine reticle in here. So the center dot is 0.12 MOA, and it is illuminated, that center dot. So your illumination is going to actually light up that center dot. So that's really cool on this. And like I said, this can take a 338 Lapua Magnum recoil, and pretty much this is going to be safe on any gun you put it on. Shock-wise, it should be just fine. Now let's get to the specs of this. Like I say, it is a 12-by-60 magnification. The objective lens is 60mm on this. The ocular lens diameter is 38mm or 1.5 inches, and the lens length is 55mm or 2.2 inches. Exit pupil on this is 3.5 to 1mm. And the optics coating, this is a fully multi-coated optic, so very nice on that. It's got a really good field of view, 9.5 feet to 1.83 feet at 100 yards, depending on your magnification. Your eye, as I said, your eye relief is 3.8 inches, so you got plenty of eye relief on it. Your tube diameter, again, is 34mm on this, so that's going to be what allows you that 40 MOA of adjustment, which is lots of adjustment in this scope. I love that it's got a 40 MOA adjustment on it. Your side focus here goes down to 10 yards. So let's see if I can turn this where y'all can see that. It goes down to 10 yards, and it will dial up to infinity. This particular scope has the reticle, which is etched glass MOA VEMP-LR, and let me just show you a bigger blow up of this. I went ahead and printed out what it actually looks like. Hopefully y'all can see that, and we will do some scope cam footage when we shoot. So if you want a close-up of what this particular reticle looks like, it looks like this. They also offer this scope, the Minotaurs, with just the cross reticle with the dot in the center, just a simple reticle, so that is available as well. So you can order it both ways. Again, your center dot size is 0.12 MOA, and your length of the scope is 16.7 inches. It is a big scope. This is not a compact scope. This is a absolute full-size scope. and the weight on it is 33.9 ounces, so it is a beefy scope. If you're looking for a lightweight solution to go on your gun, this is not going to be what you're wanting to look at. You may want to look at like a 1-inch or 30 millimeter in the Paragon or a Continental line. That might be something you want to look at if you're looking at something a little bit lighter. Like I say, this is a purpose-built scope for mainly for competition, and if you're doing long range and extreme long range shooting, this would be beneficial in this platform. Like I say, it does have the illumination, and it does have 10 settings plus one of them, which is the 11th, is actually your night vision setting. So it does have night vision compatibility with that illuminated reticle. So that is a nice feature of this. This has been shock tested to 1000 G. It is water resistant. It is IPX4 rated, and it is fog proof. This is also fully nitrogen purged, so that's going to help eliminate any of the fogging of the lenses internally, so it's really nice. Like I say, your revolutions on your clicks, you're going to get 80 clicks per round. Elevation has a zero stop in it. The windage does have the turret lock. So let's say since this doesn't have a turret lock here, if you have your zero stop, just wind it back to your zero. And competitive shooters usually start at that 0 point, use their dope card or whatever, and set all their settings based off of where they have it zero stopped at. Once you have that zero stop in place in reference to your zeroing, you always can go back to that, and you have a reference point to start from to work up any kind of dope that you need to actually adjust for. And this is made out of high quality 6061 aircraft aluminum, so you're getting a really nice heavy duty scope here. Now on your, I said this goes down to 10 yards for your parallax, which is great for, especially for airgun competition and stuff like that. You may need that ability to dial down to 10 yards depending on the competition or hunting that you may be doing with air rifles. So this would be great for air rifle application as well, because it dials down all the way to 10 yards. A feature I love to see, and a lot of scopes do not dial back to 10 yards. It's really nice that theirs do. The diopter compensation on this particular scope is +2 and -2. Very smooth diopter adjustment, so extremely smooth, as well as you have a smooth magnification adjustment as well. Included items in here you're going to get, like I say, is going to be your 34mm Picatinny scope rings, really nice, and I really like the heavy duty ones that has 6 screws in the top cap. It just cinches everything down really good for you. And if you're shooting a Magnum rifle or whatever, this is the actual scope rings that you're really going to want anyway. Something really heavy duty. And of course it comes with a cleaning cloth, and it comes with these scope caps, and it comes with your sunshade right here. Lots of great features in this. Now, like I say, the overall is 16.65 inches on this, so it is a long scope, and with the weight of it being at 33.9 ounces, it is going to be top heavy. So this is why I would recommend this going on something that you're probably not going to carry in the field a lot, because it is going to be really beefy. It's going to be heavy. Now, if you're doing extreme long range shooting, let's say you're doing elk hunting or something that you're going to be shooting across ridges and valleys and stuff like that, and you may need something that has really high magnification. Let's say you have your eyes are bad, or you have a hard time with lower power scopes. This may actually work for you. Just know there is compromises with this scope, one being the weight and the overall size of it, although it does have its benefits of having the higher magnification. So I'm going to be using this and set this up on a bench rest rifle, and we're going to take it out and we're going to test out the bench rest capabilities with that high magnification. I already shoot something that is over 30 power on that particular gun, so that's what I'm going to take off of it. It is a Vector Continental I have on that gun. I will take that off, and I will replace it with this. Just because this has higher magnification, I want to see how this performs in those applications, because when you're actually trying to take the center out on a target and you're having to repeat the same hole over and over, and you're trying to get that bullet to go in the same exact spot, it's nice to have that higher magnification. It gives you a better opportunity to actually hold on your target properly and exactly where you want it with the higher magnification. So we're going to see how everything translates. A lot of scopes with really high magnifications, the higher end of the magnification range isn't quite as crisp. I have no idea on this one. That's something we're going to check out. I know just from looking through the scope, it does have edge-to-edge clarity. So hopefully that'll translate in the higher magnifications as well. So we'll take a look at that, and we'll let you know when we get it to the range. So let's go ahead and get this set up. I'll show you what it looks set up on the rifle that we're going to put it on. And then the next time you see it, we will be at the range and we're going to test it out, and I'll give you my overall opinion on the scope. Okay, we're at the range with the Vector Minotaur scope, and this is the 12-60 power. And we're going to go ahead and send some rounds down range and see how it performs and everything. Do you like the glass clarity and everything? I can tell you that right off the bat. It looks really good. And that's been kind of a common theme with the Vector optics. Now, the eye box is kind of tight on this. This is a purpose-built scope. And what I mean by that, it's for precision shooting. It's got 8th MOA adjustments. So it's got very fine adjustments. It's more suited for a bench rest application, whether you're in air guns, rimfire, or centerfire rifle competition. This will be a good fit. And it's a great price point for a scope with this magnification. I don't think you're going to find a scope at this price point at these magnifications. So we'll go ahead and send some downrange and see how it performs. So far, haven't had any issues. I went ahead and threw this on here, sighted in, and probably shot my tightest group ever with this, with some RWS R50. And actually was shooting originally the semi-auto bench rest outlaw, and once I had it dialed in, I just switched straight to the R50, and I'll show you the results I got. These were all sighters here, here. These were my initials, try to get everything dialed in. Oh, sorry. These were my original shots, just trying to get it dialed in, get my windage and elevation adjusted. And this was with the Ely bench rest outlaw. Then I switched to the RWS R50. That is a 5-shot group right there. So shooting good. My point of aim was right here, and it's shooting just a little low and to the left, which is fine. I don't mind that, but that was a 5-shot group. So let's see what it can do at 50. We went ahead and moved everything out to 50. And this is not really more of the ammunition test as much as trying to see how this optic performs for bench rest conditions. So it's going to be kind of hard for us to show you everything through the trigger cam because when you get up to like the 60 magnification and everything, this trigger cam has a focus wheel on it as well. It just doesn't have quite enough adjustment for that high magnification. So I do have a extra camera down range. That way you can see what's happening down range. And I will go ahead and turn the trigger cam on, that way you can see. This is at 30 power right here, and we got edge-to-edge clarity, and it looks really, really good. So we'll shoot and see what we can see at this magnification, and I just kind of want to see where we're hitting at 50 yards right now. Shooting pretty decent at 50. Now I ammo sort, and this was my leftovers that was mismatched. Either the rim thickness was a little bit off, and they're not all the same. So we could have some variation in this. When I open up this new box, I believe I sorted it as well. I have to look. And if it's sorted, we'll kind of go by the sort. Yeah, I've got these sorted as well. So we'll have strings of ammo that's more matched together. So I think I'm going to dial up just a little. See if I can change my impact to where I'm actually aiming at this point. I think I'm happy with that. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to load up some rounds, and we're going to take some single shots and the targets up top. I will shoot a little bit of this R50 through here, and then we'll use some Eley 10X, and we'll see how everything performs. So far, I did a box test on this. Everything's tracking absolutely perfect on it. Had no problem for it returning to 0. Sorry, it's a little busy at the range today, so if you hear stuff in the background, it is what it is. Shoot one more round that I had left over from the mismatched ammo. All right. What we'll do on the targets up top is we're going to take one shot per target. It will actually go into a computer system, and based on my point of aim, it should give us a calculation of what it would group like if we shot just a solid group. So I'm wanting to try out my target software, so that's going to give me an opportunity for that as well. I do like the clarity of this. It's really clear, and you can dial in all the way up to 60 power. I'm not getting any aberration where I've got any darkening around the edges. It's clear. I know you're seeing that in the trigger cam. Let me see if I can dial this trigger cam in just a little bit more. It gets really hard with this trigger cam, but you do not see the darkening around the edges on the scope. I can assure you that. Now, if you're not used to a tight eye box, again, some scopes, people won't really forgive me eye boxes for bench rest shooting. I want to be behind the scope perfect, and I don't mind a tight eye box for bench rest. Now, if I was shooting matches where I was pretty much running and shooting and stuff like that, and I needed fast target acquisition, I'd be a little bit more picky about my eye box. But for actual bench rest, I actually prefer a tight eye box. It helps me concentrate more and helps me get on target a little bit better. This rest that I'm using is a Bald Eagle rest. It's not a real expensive rest, but it's nice because it does have windage adjustment and elevation. I'll be doing a video on this. Now, I do have this bolt headspace for this Eley 10X. So that could have some effect on the RWS 50. So, all right, that was 5 rounds. I think 3 of them went pretty much in the same hole. Had one a little low. I think I got a little too quick there on the trigger. It is what it is. But it's not doing too bad. I'd like to see a little bit better performance out of it. But we'll break this down, take it back to the shop, and I'll let you know what I think about everything. So this is the Minotaur 12-60 power precision scope. Again, this is a purpose-built scope. This is for stuff like bench rest shooting and stuff. That's what it's designed for. Air rifles, I think, would be great. For any kind of precision shooting for rimfire, I think it's a really good scope for that. I think center fire you're going to be fine with. It is shock tested. I think 338 Lapua is what you can put through this, so you're not going to have any problems with that. Overall, really good scope. Very pleased with it. I would recommend it if you're looking at getting in the bench rest game and you can't afford a really high-end optic. This is a really budget-friendly optic, and I don't think for the price point you're going to find a optic. I couldn't find one anyway with this kind of magnification at this price point. You're going to pay a ton more for something like this. So this will get you there. Is it Japanese glass? No. Is it German glass? No, but it's got very good glass clarity in it. At your higher power, it's not absolutely perfect, but it's really, really good. And to get you in bench rest or something like that, it's going to serve you just fine. I wouldn't hesitate putting this on my 300 PRC, shooting out to 1,000 yards. You're still going to get to see the target really well. I didn't see really any aberration or anything. It looks really, really good. Like I say, the only difference is this is a very tight eye box on here compared to some of the other vector optics offerings. But you can kind of expect that with high-powered scopes anyway. This is a little tight, but if you're bench rest shooting, shouldn't be any issue. Now, if you are just shooting regular matches and stuff, and you're having to acquire targets super fast and stuff like that, you need something with a more forgiving eye box. Take a look at the Paragon line, take a look at the Continental. I think you're going to be a lot happier with those. And you don't need a 60 magnification on those rifles. So this would not be really a good fit, in my opinion, for that type of shooting. But for bench rest shooting, precision shooting, I think that you'll be very happy with this, especially at the price point. And you can always step up to better glass later. Although you may never need it. This does just fine. It's very clear, works out really good. So I'll give you more of my opinion on it back at the shop. Let me grab these targets and we'll meet back there. Hey, we're back at the office. So we went and shot this gun. Went ahead and tested out this Vector Minotaur. Again, this is the 12-60 power, and very impressed. Another offering that I've been very, very pleased. Was shooting this pretty much late in the evening by the time we got done with the testing and everything. So we had some low light conditions, and I'll tell you what, the large objective 34mm tube, that helps just gather that much more light in, and was a lot easier on us. I was very impressed by the edge-to-edge clarity, as usual with the Vector's glass. The eye box is really tight on this, but like I said, this is a purpose-built scope. This is for somebody that is looking to do precision rifle work. So for my recommendations, this would be geared towards a bench rest shooter or a target shooter. You could go ahead and hunt with it and do long range and stuff like that as well. This would be great for even 1,000 yards. I'll try to get some video footage of the scope cam I had on here, just showing you that we were able to see the target well at 1,000 yards on 60 power. So very impressed by that. So before I left the range, I actually carried this over the 1,000-yard range and took a look at 1,000 yards, see how everything looked. And with the conditions and everything, it actually looked pretty good. We weren't in the best conditions that day. but it did really, really good. The scope was great. Tracked really good. Didn't have any issues with it tracking or anything. I really like the magnification, especially for bench and precision shooting. Just to kind of show you some stuff. This isn't really about lot testing. I'll do another video on that about the ammo I ran through this gun. It's set up on this CZ 457 right now. But just a little sneak peek here. These were some siders and everything just to get the scope zeroed in. Once I had it zeroed in, my point of impact was right here, and right there is 5 shots at 25 yards, and that was a .117 group, 5-shot group. That's not, I know it looks like one hole, that is 5 shots practically through the same hole. So center to center, it was .117. Extremely impressive. Very happy with that. And that helps when you have a good scope with great magnification. We shot some other groups. Let's see here. Here was a .318. This was at 50 yards. That's a very nice group at 50 yards. So all these groups are really nice. So not bad at all. I think the largest group was .433. So all under half-inch groups. Very impressive. Again, I chalk that up to having very good magnification. The clarity was really good. I was really impressed with this scope. Very happy with it. I have no complaints. Only thing that I would like to see on the Minotaur series, if they make some future iterations of it, is to do a locking turret up top. Now, your side turret is locking, however, for your windage, but your elevation is not locking. I would like to see that, but you know, really for target shooting, it's not imperative, but it would be beneficial when you're traveling and stuff like that to have that top turret locked. That way, if anything shifts around, everything's locked in place, and you don't really have to worry about it. Other than that, very pleased with the performance of the Vector Minotaur scope. Again, this is the 12-60 power. Again, this is a purpose-built scope. This is not something that you probably want to throw on an everyday rifle, especially if you're not used to a really tight eye box. This does have a very tight eye box, but it makes you really get behind your rifle, pay attention to what you're doing, and take those precision shots, which with this setup right here, was able to knock out some pretty good groups and everything. So very impressed with that. Very impressed. Now, you're not getting the same glass that you would get in like the Continental line or the Paragon, something like that. But those are the higher end, higher tier scopes, so those have a little bit better glass in them. But the clarity on this was really impressive. I was very pleased. And for bench rush shooting and stuff, anything under, I would say, 100 yards, even 200 yards, you're not going to have a problem with the glass that's in here. I think you're going to do just fine. And you're not going to find a competitor in the market that's going to have this kind of offering with this many features built in at this price. This is really an excellent price optic for what you get. So very impressed. Again, Vector, y'all knocked it out of the park again. Appreciate y'all sending me this to go ahead and do a review on. I'm very impressed by it. I would highly recommend it if you're looking for something that's purpose-built that you really need very high magnification for, or if you're doing bench rest style shooting, I would really highly recommend it. Now, if you're doing anything, you're running and gunning, shooting behind barricades, and you're needing to change your magnification really fast, a tight eye box is probably not going to do you as good. So I would stay away from this for those types of situations. So if you're a competitive shooter, depends on what kind of competition you do. If you're needing to go ahead and dial your magnification a lot while you're running, while you're doing a stage, your eye box needs to have a little bit more generous relief to it. So I would recommend one of the other offerings for that particular purpose. But if you're going to have this setting up on a bench or something like that, you can get behind it, take your time and stuff. This is absolutely going to do the job for you without a doubt. Guys, appreciate you being with me today. If you're subscribed, thank you very much. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. I'd certainly appreciate it. And as always, God bless. I'll catch you on the next episode.